wonderful stuff. That's the Waterboys with the big music. Fogel Sharkey was Loving You, and Usward with their current 12-inch single called Bubbling. Time on Caroline, 24 hours a day on 576 is 4:30.
Radio Caroline Headline News, brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
Canada has withdrawn her ambassador to South Africa. A writ has been issued against Bradford City Football Club alleging negligence after the fire in May which claimed 56 lives. And the Pope has beatified a nun in Zaire. I'll have details on the hour.
Thanks, Andy. Showers and sunny intervals for the remainder of the afternoon. Tonight, more showers on the way, I'm afraid, particularly in the west. The outlook for the next few days, showers and sunny intervals tomorrow, becoming drier by the weekend. So that's good to hear. Could be dry for this weekend. And the sea conditions at the moment, slight to moderate.
When turning on the good times, remember to take a generous supply of Hawaiian Tropic. Stay a little longer, a little safer, and a little darker with Hawaiian Tropic.
Music Radio Caroline.
Here's a track from the new album by Laura Branigan. This is Spanish Eddie.
They say we're young and we don't know. Won't find out
You're the queen of all you survey.
That's Sting, who's just started a world tour in Japan. He'll be moving through the United States and Canada throughout the late summer, and you can expect him in the UK around about Christmas, so that should be good. That's his new single called Love is the Seventh Wave. I Got You Babe from Chrissy Hynde at UB40 before that, and Laura Branigan with Spanish Eddie from the new album out at the moment, which is called Hold Me.
Get ready to get rich. Enter Canada's Lotto 649 today.
Right now, in Canada, in the new world, in the land of opportunity, people are winning tax-free. A fortune. The prize is £1 million a week. £1 million minimum. It's called Lotto 649, and now you can play and win. £1 million, tax-free in Canada. Here's what you do. Choose any 6 numbers between 1 and 49 inclusive.
42.
7.
36.
16. 27.
49.
Write down your 6 numbers and your name and address and send them with £15 cash, check, or money order to Bet Canada. Your 6 numbers will be entered in Lotto 649 in each week for 13 consecutive weeks after receipt. By return mail, you'll receive notification of your official entry dates. Lotto 649 is one of the world's largest lotteries. In 10 years, over 200 million people have won a total of over £1 billion. Every week, Lotto 649 draws 6 numbers. If you choose 3 of them, you win £6. If you choose 4 or more, you win a share of the total prize pool. Maybe £1,000, maybe £100,000. Once the grand prize reached £8 million. Enter Lotto 649 now. Select 6 numbers between 1 and 49. Send them with your name and address and £15 cash, check, or money order to Bet Canada, Box 48649, Vancouver, Canada, V7X1A3. Bet Canada, Box 48649, Vancouver, Canada, V7X1A3. Then all day Saturday, stay tuned to Radio Caroline News for winning numbers and 649 information. Right now, in Canada, people are winning. Tax-free, a fortune. Lotto 649. Enter now and prepare to get rich.
Lotto 649 is operated by the Government of Canada.
Let the love and awareness sound gently kiss your ear on Caroline.
There we are, that's Whitney Houston. What a superb singer she is. Andy Johnson's Fantasy, by the way. Andy along with the news at 5 o'clock. That's her new single called You Give Good Love. Before that, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, especially for Jack, who lives in Southborough. That's from Jenny. Martha Reeves and Vandellas on Caroline. Matt Bianco with Half a Minute, dancing in the street with Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, an ordinary life from Rouen, broadcasting live from the North Sea on 576 kilohertz. This is Radio Caroline International. It's 5 o'clock.
Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
Good afternoon. Canada has withdrawn her ambassador to South Africa and threatened to take further steps unless there's more progress towards ending apartheid. The decision comes shortly before South African President, Mr. P.W. Botha, is expected to outline reforms aimed at unsettling unrest, which has claimed 600 lives in the past 19 months. He's unlikely, however, to abolish tribal homelands or grant the blacks rights like those enjoyed by the whites. New aid is urgently needed in 20 African countries afflicted by prolonged drought, according to a United Nations report. The report says that the prime disease is poverty, because drought does not produce famine where the population is affluent. It cites moving foodstuffs inland from ports as a major headache in relieving hunger, and says that of the 30 million people affected by drought, 8 to 10 million are now destitute. A writ has been issued against Bradford City Football Club in the north of England, alleging negligence after the fire in May which claimed 56 lives. The writ was issued on behalf of Mrs. Susan Fletcher, widow of Mr. John Fletcher, who died in the fire. A British woman has been shot and killed while on holiday in Greece. A policeman's pistol accidentally went off during a struggle with the woman and her boyfriend after they refused to stop their car for a routine identity check near Athens. The Pope has beatified a murdered African nun in Kinshasa, the capital of Zaire. Sister Marie Clementine was clubbed and stabbed to death as she resisted rape by a former army colonel in 1964. And Britain's Building Societies Association has agreed on a 1.25% cut in the mortgage rate. The cut is larger than the expected drop of 1%. Basic investment rates will be cut by the same amount. For Caroline, I'm Andy Johnson.
That was Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek, the international news magazine.
Well, thank goodness that lady's back with a record in the charts. Kate Bush running up that hill on 12-inch. 5:30 tonight, we've got a bit of Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Neil Young, and Roxy Music. Yes, that's the personal top 5 of Nick Borum, who lives in Buckinghamshire, England. Okay, Nick, so your top 5 coming up a little bit later on. Caroline, good afternoon to you if you're driving home from work. David Andrews with you. This is Maze and Too Many Games.
When I was young, my mama used to hustle me.
Goedemiddag, dit is Radio Caroline.
The Radio Caroline Gig Guide. A list of concerts and musical spectacles around Europe.
Right, if you fancy a night out tonight and you live in London, then Toots and the Maytals should be doing a few crucial reggae tunes for you at the Camden Dingwalls. Toots and the Maytals at Camden Dingwalls. Moving on to the weekend, Saturday, August the 17th. A couple of major concert events happening. It's the Castle Donington Monsters of Rock Festival, which is a heavy metal thing, with ZZ Top, Marillion, Bon Jovi, Rat and Magnum all performing there. If you're into African reggae and that sort of music, then the Afro Reggae and Dance Music Festival is a one-day event happening at Earlham Park in Norwich. The acts include Misty and Roots, The Liberators, Dennis Bovell and the Dub Band, High Life International and Somo Somo. Something for all of you soul freaks. Hammersmith Palais in London is the place to be on Sunday the 18th of August, where the Cool Notes are playing. The Confetti Club performing at the Ocean Rooms, Great Yarmouth on Sunday. And Carmel is at Ronnie Scott's in London on Sunday the 18th of August.
Radio Caroline. Out of the room, out from the rain. Must have been cold there in my shadow.
There we are, Lee Greenwood with The Wind Beneath My Wings, 29 minutes past 5. If you fancy going along to a beer festival around August the 26th time, then there's one happening at the Star Public House at Steeple near Southminster, Essex. It runs from midday through to midnight. There's a licence for beer from noon until 4, and then from 6 until midnight. Sounds all right to me. £5 on the gate, all right. Camping facilities if that is required. And the acts appearing are the Caroline Rock Show, a good old rock show will be down there, together with Ugly and Soho, Dumpy's Rusty Nuts, the Buster James Band, and the Lacey Street Blues Band. So if you like a bit of heavy rock together with your beer, then whip down to the Star Public House at Steeple near Southminster on Essex, in Essex on August the 26th. All right, it's Caroline 24 hours a day on 576, where the time is now 5:30.
Radio Caroline Headline News, brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
Canada has withdrawn her ambassador to South Africa and warned that further steps will be taken unless more progress is made to end apartheid. A United Nations report has called for renewed aid to assist famine relief in Africa, and a writ has been issued against the British Bradford City Football Club in connection with last May's fire. That's it. Details on the hour.
Thanks very much, Andy. Tonight, the weather, more showers, particularly in the west, I'm afraid. Temperature falling to around 10 degrees Celsius. The winds at the moment are southwest to moderate, and the outlook for the next few days, showers and sunny intervals tomorrow, becoming drier by the weekend.
Loving awareness, Radio Caroline. Loving good music, Radio Caroline.
And now on Caroline, it's time for the personal top 5 of Nick Boreham. He lives in Buckinghamshire. Your number 5 goes like this. Roxy Music.
I wish you could swim. Like dolphins in the night. Still a searcher, my...
Neil Young from After the Gold Rush and a song called Tell Me Why. Before that, David Bowie with Heroes, and Roxy Music's More Than This, numbers 5, 4 and 3 in Nick Boreham's personal top 5. He's just sent us a postcard. If you'd like to send us a letter or a postcard, just send it in. Radio Caroline, New York 11518 in the USA. We do top 5s at 1 o'clock, 5:30 and 9:30 p.m. So allow about 4 weeks for the mail to get to New York and back out here to the boat, and just state down your choice. As much variety as possible would be much obliged. It's at 19 minutes before 6. Next up, Bob Dylan.
Enter the exciting world of photography with pleasure. The Nikon FG20 starts at the top at a price you can smile at. The Nikon FG20 is a tough, easy-to-handle system camera, automatic or manual, with an audio warning system and exposure compensation. You can't fail to take the best pictures of your life. The Nikon FG20. Go where your lifestyle takes you. Enjoy the world of Nikon.
It will be magnificent. A piece of the future to taste, to see, to touch. Set among the mountains of Canada's beautiful Pacific coast in the heart of a thriving metropolitan city. It is Expo 86. The World Exposition will be held in Vancouver, Canada from May 2nd to October 13th, 1986. More than 40 nations will celebrate mankind's global achievements in transportation and communication. Expo 86 will feature over 80 pavilions and international exhibits from countries including the People's Republic of China, the USSR, and the USA. The World Exposition site will spread over 173 acres along 2.5 miles of Pacific coastline. All of it amidst the splendor that is supernatural British Columbia. In your lifetime, you may never again have the chance to experience an event like this in a place like this. Expo 86. Don't miss it for the world. Inquire at Tourism British Columbia House, Regent Street, London, or call your travel agent.
Love and good music, Radio Caroline.
He woke up. The room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care. Falling down in a dead man's slam. The first kicker took us when I hit the ground.
Well, that was some guy called Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. Born in the US of A. With Barbie Dillon before that, with a little Simple Twist of Fate. Number 2 and number 1 in Nick Boreham's personal top 5. Once again, Nick, thanks very much for your card, supporting your radio station. It's Radio Caroline on 576 kilohertz. Tell you what, you get a little bit out of touch out here. It's fairly quiet out here on the high seas, just us and the neighbours bobbing along, well, until the last week, of course. And I failed to realise, Madonna has actually got 3 singles in the top 20. Watching the news last night, this is. And she is everywhere. There's girls modelling themselves on her over there in the States. She's got 3 singles in the 20, 2 albums in the British top 20. I wonder if they'll put 2 videos on Top of the Pops tonight, just to give us a little bit of a treat. 8 minutes to 6, this is Holiday. Well, there we are. That's it for another day. Hope you enjoyed the programme. It's 5 to 6. Going to go out with a little bit of a bang tonight. Here comes Billy Idol on the picture sleeve, looking rather aggressively at me. This is the shotgun mix of White Wedding. Enjoy it. Andy Johnson's next. A punchy little track there, Billy Idol with White Wedding, broadcasting live from the North Sea on 576 kilohertz. This is Radio Caroline International. Time now, 6 o'clock.
Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek magazine.
Good evening. Canada has withdrawn her ambassador to South Africa and threatened to take further steps unless there's more progress towards ending apartheid. The decision comes shortly before South African President, Mr. P.W. Botha, is expected to outline reforms aimed at settling unrest, which has claimed 600 lives in the past 19 months. He's unlikely, however, to abolish tribal homelands or grant the blacks rights like those enjoyed by white population. New aid is urgently needed in 20 African countries afflicted by prolonged drought, according to a United Nations report. It says that the prime disease is poverty, because drought does not produce famine where the population is affluent. It cites moving food stocks inland from ports as a major headache in relieving hunger, and says that of the 30 million people affected by drought, 8 to 10 million are now destitute. A writ has been issued against Bradford City Football Club in the north of England, alleging negligence after the fire in May which claimed 56 lives. The writ was issued on behalf of Mrs. Susan Fletcher, widow of Mr. John Fletcher, who died in the fire. A British woman has been shot and killed while on holiday in Greece. A policeman's pistol accidentally went off during a struggle with the woman and her boyfriend after they refused to stop their car for a routine identity check near Athens. And finally, Britain's Building Societies Association has agreed on a 1.25% cut in the mortgage rate. The cut is larger than the expected drop of 1%, and basic investment rates will be cut by the same amount. For Caroline International, I'm Andy Johnson.
That was Radio Caroline News, brought to you by Newsweek, the international news magazine.